Hi there, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sandy Zimmer. Today I'm going to show you how to make these two bee's knees cards, and they're very simple and easy to do 2 cards at once using this technique. So this is from the Stamp of the Month from Close to My Heart for July 2023. It's only available this month. And I'm going to be using that beautiful big bee and my Misty to help me create this card today. So I'm using shortbread cardstock, and I'm using 2 pieces of it. They are 4 by 5 1/4 each, and I'm going to stamp with the Black Intense ink on these pieces. And I'm going to do one on the dark side and one on the light side. So you can see here that I'm inking it up. I do like to use the Misty for these bigger stamps, and they just help me to make sure that I get a really good impression. I'm using that intense black ink because I want to use our alcohol markers to color it up. So it dries really quickly and it has less tendency to run. In fact, I've never had a problem with it running at all. And I stamp it up and then I start to color right away. So it works really, really well. So you can see here that I'm going to ink it up a couple of times and just make sure that I get a good impression. There's just that one spot that I think my desk is not quite even, and so it's not quite getting on there. So again, that's what the Misty is really helpful for. So you can see here that I'm stamping on the light side of that cardstock, the shortbread here. So what's going to happen is these 2 bees are going to be in exactly the same spot, and that's important for this technique. There's a couple other ways that you could go about doing it, but I find that this is the easiest. So now I'm just going through some of my thin cuts here. I looked at the stitch scalloped brackets first, and then I decide on the stitch simple brackets, that square one on the left-hand side, or squarer one on the left-hand side. I like how it really opens up and just sort of concentrates, on the body. So you'll see that I stack those 2 pieces on top of each other before I run them through my machine. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the middles. So the dark one will have the light inside and the light one will have the dark inside. So now I'm going to go in with my blue turquoise shades. This is the alcohol marker from Spectrum Noir, which we sell currently. And I'm going to start coloring here, and then I'm going to go off camera and do some more. I'm using the gold brown blend on the second one here. I thought I would do one sort of monochromatic and then the other one a little bit more vibrant. So I'm using the medium, and I'm also using the dark of that gold brown blend. And again, I do a lot of the coloring off camera because you don't need to watch me color all those little flowers in. But I really like how this bee has the flowers in the wings. It's just so stunning, so beautiful. So just coloring some of that in. And then a little bit here, you'll see me come in with the light green blend, and that's the color that I'm going to use for the leaves and for the stems of the flowers. So just finishing those up. And I'm also using that gold brown blend, the medium and the dark, for the body of the bee. And again, I did some of that off camera. So there's my green. And I'm coming in with the medium, and then I'm going to add some highlights with the dark. So it's a really simple piece to color. Goes really well. So I'm just adhering this now onto our card base. I'm starting with the big piece, and then I'm adding the coordinating one on the inside there. And I'm just picking my sentiment, and I decided to go with that just because I thought it was pretty sweet. And of course, I'm using my Black Intense ink here as well. You could use a color that matches the flowers if you wanted to. Totally up to you. Now I'm using the other one here. I'm going with the dark. And I'm using a sponge dauber here that we sell as well. And you can get them in packages of 3 or in larger quantities. And I'm using that Black Intense ink again just to sort of give it a different finish. With the other one, I'm going to go around and I'm going to use my journaling pen and create some lines. But I thought it would be fun to just show you an inking technique and just how it changes it up a little bit. So again, I'm putting that on the card base. And then I'm also going to ink up that insert just around the edges, just ever so slightly, just to give it a little bit more punch and a little bit more detail. Of course, you could do this with a paint pen, or you could even do them with the Spectrum Noir markers if you wanted to. So there's just a little bit of a variance, and here you're going to see me come in with that journaling pen. Now I'm doing some squiggly lines all the way around, and I decide to do 2 lines. And sometimes I just feel that the 2 lines are needed just to give it a little bit more of a distinction between the foreground and the background papers here. So that's what I'm doing, and you can see I'm purposely wiggling on both sides of those lines just to really make it stand out. So there's a little bit of a close-up of the 2 of them. And of course you'll see the stills at the beginning and the end here. If you'd like to support my business, I'd really appreciate it at sandysm.closetomyheart.ca, and in the description I will have a list of all the products used. I would love it if you'd hit the bell and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That always helps me out. And I also decided to use the metallic paint markers here, and they come in a set of 3, and I use the 0.7. So I just thought I would show a close-up of that, and there's our card. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.